Welcome to this BMW E36 review, and today we're driving a 318i from 1994, and there is only one way to start a BMW E36 review, and that is sideways, because that's why people buy this car, so you can go sideways, and sideways is the way this car should be driven. Because it's a lot of fun. Today, this car we are driving is a 318i, is the 4-cylinder model. It's a 94. That means this thing has a timing chain instead of a timing belt, and the early ones had the timing belt. And don't buy them because they are shit, and you have to change the timing belt every 4,000 kilometers, 4,000 miles, and that sucks, and that's expensive, and that's nothing you want to do. That's why you should buy every car after 93, because they also got Vanos in 1993. Vanos might also, if you're gonna tune them, maybe you want the non-Vanos version, but overall the Vanos is awesome. Variable valve timing. And the thing about these 36s are the chassis is awesome on these 36s. This thing is an open diff even. This doesn't even have a closed, this thing doesn't have limited slip diff. It's 100% open diff. You can still do this all fucking day long. Look at this. I mean, third gear, this car also has only 115 horsepower, 136 newton meters of torque. So it's not a lot of torque, but it's a lot of fun car. The thing about the E36 is the chassis is so good on them. Again, you can do this basically all day long, but we won't do that because there's many reasons why you shouldn't do this all day long. Number one, the police will finally get you, and you don't want that because then you get a ticket, and the ticket sucks. And another thing is that you will burn your tires quite quickly, and you don't want that either, so don't do that all day long. The engines you can even get the diesel, but you should not get the diesel. But the fun fact is the first ever 24 hours of Nürburgring diesel car that won was an E36 back in 1998 in a 320D. The first ever it won its class, so it's first ever diesel car to win the 24 hours of Nürburgring, which is what a pedigree for the E36. The interior of the E36 is quite outdated, but it still has a nice feel to it. It's very towards the driver. You feel like you're sitting in a cockpit. Only thing about some E36s back then, airbag was an optional extra, which I think is a fun thing. And then you can't adjust the steering wheel, which I think also was an optional extra, which this car was not fitted with. So that means the driving position is maybe not 100%, but yeah, it's quite good. The driving position is actually quite nice. Only thing I wish that the seat was a bit lower. That's why you should buy the M3 E36, and those things are so cheap and so awesome. 3 liter inline 6, such a classical BMW, very reliable as well. You have the 325 inline 6, 196 horsepower, and that thing is so much fun. This yeah, and you get the fuel economy of the 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder, is very good, but the fuel economy of the 6-cylinders is not that bad, and that's a good thing. And we have to go sideways here because it's an E36. And if you want to learn how to drive, how to drift, how to control a car, then there is probably not a better car than the E36, because they are very cheap, very reliable, and they are so easy to go sideways. This car is an open diff. There's not, like I said, no limited diff, and it's still very easy to slide around and being an idiot in, which is a lot of fun. So the problems you have to look for, of course, this car was launched back in 1991, or it was launched in 1990 for a 91 model year, and it was in production till basically 1999. So the thing you have to look for in these cars are, well, there is a lot of things that can go wrong, but I would recommend look at, it's like buying any used car, you have to look example to example, but they are overall very reliable if they just have been taken care of properly. But I will leave some links in the description to some forums that you can, some buyer's guide that you can look up before buying in this car and doing a pre-purchase inspection. But like I said, overall, if the car has been taken care of and maintained regularly, like oil change and all of that, then they are very reliable. And another thing about buying an E36 is that this car has almost a cult following. So there is a lot of people who own them, and a lot of those people are members of a forum. And if you have any problems with your car, you can basically look it up on the internet, on a forum or on YouTube, and you will probably find some other dude who also had that same problem and has fixed it and has written down how he fixed it. And that's the thing about these 36s. And it's a great car also learning how to be almost a mechanic, so you can change shit, because they're very easy to work with, which is always nice. But yeah, overall a lot of fun to drive. Don't get the earlier ones, I don't know if I've said that. Those things had a timing belt. Timing belt sucks and you have to change them very often, and those engines are quite rough. They're the same engines that was in the E30, which was designed in the 80s, so you don't want that. But this car, it does feel its age, it really does. It does feel like this car is from the 90s, but it's has aged very well. The exterior, I think, still it does look good. And yeah, awesome car. There is no reason why I shouldn't buy this, basically. It's a perfect first car as well. Does not have traction control or anything like that. I don't know if that was an optional extra, but I've never driven an E36 with a traction control or stability control. They have ABS. The ABS sensors often go wrong. You have to replace them. But that's with any sensor. That's, of course, you have to replace them. But yeah, what I like about the E36, and even this car is 20 years old, it still had that nice BMW feel to it. And that's awesome. God, I love this car, man. And another thing about the E36 is that you will get a lot. You will get a lot of E36 bros. So you're driving around and you see another E36 with a young dude in it. If you're young, and you go, you know what? I own an E36. Me too. Let's race. So it has cult following. And every roundabout you have to do, you have to slide the damn thing. So which engine should you buy? Depends where you live. If you live in America, then you should probably get the 328s and 325s, or the because fuel is very cheap. If you live in Europe, which I do, fucking Sweden, where the fuel prices have a fucking 600% tax on them, and fuel is very expensive, then yeah, you maybe want to consider a smaller engine ones. But the bigger engine don't use a lot of fuel, but it's always nice. The 4-cylinder, I mean, this thing, if you're driving it very economically, you will actually get great fuel economy. And another thing, because the engine is very small in the 4-cylinder, it doesn't have a lot of weight in the front, which is nice. That means that it's very well balanced, and it really is. The chassis, I mean, the weight distribution is almost 50-50 in this car, and that's awesome. But the 4-cylinder is, like I said, only 115 horsepower, but you can still go sideways in third gear in the wet in this car. So it does have some power, but it's quite slow. But the thing about owning a slow car like this one, the 318, is that you can go flat everywhere, and I mean that, everywhere, and that's a lot of fun. And you are not doing massive speeds when you're driving flat, and that's also very good. And if you just have taken your driving license and you want to drift because, well, Chris Harris, or I don't know, you've seen it on TV, or you've done it in Forza or Gran Turismo, and you know what, I want to do that in reality because I have done it in Gran Turismo. Then you should buy the 318 or the 316, because they have no power, and if you spin, which you will do if you're trying to slide and learn how to slide, then it won't be in high speed. So and that's good, because that means you won't kill yourself and someone else, which is always nice, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to kill yourself. This car has a top speed of 211, and it can do that for 15 minutes. I've allegedly done that. It does smell very burnt inside, but it's actually limited by the gear ratios. So the gear ratios is only up to 211. But yeah, this car has very short gear ratios. You can basically go in town in 5th gear at 50 kilometers an hour. So it's very, very short gear ratios in this car. So yeah, that concludes my review of the E36. A beautiful, lovely car from the 90s. A bit of a classic look back. Be safe out there and don't do anything stupid. And another thing, they're very easy to heel and tow. Very easy to heel and tow. That's a big plus. So yeah, I'm gonna park up, and yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you have a beautiful day, night or morning whenever you're watching this. Please don't forget to subscribe, it does help me a lot, and I see you in the next one. Peace.